Hey, this is Stacy from Let's Cook, y'all. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new, welcome. We're so glad you're here. We hope you'll enjoy all the content on our channel and you'll consider hitting that red subscribe button. We're back with a brand new week of some easy and delicious meals. We tried 3 recipes that were new to us, and we've got some really quick ideas that we made over the weekend. We hope you enjoy all the food in this week's What's for Dinner video.
Today we're trying a new recipe. I actually heard about this one on a podcast that I listened to called The Big Boo Cast. I'll leave a link to this recipe. We're not going to make it quite as spicy as the original recipe. It's called Family Savvy's Spicy Vegetable Beef Soup. It's got a lot of ingredients. It says to simmer it at least an hour or up to all day, so I'm going to get it going earlier in the day. You use 1.5 to 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm going to use 1 pound of organic beef and a half a pound of turkey because that's what I had. I don't have a half a pound of beef. Since I haven't made this before, I don't want to use the full 2 pounds of ground beef in case I don't like it and Tim's stuck with it. It said to use some frozen. I'm going to use some canned white corn, green beans, 2 cans of rotel, a package of Lipton onion soup mix, a can of tomato soup, some of the V8 juice out of this jar. The original calls for the spicy. If you like things spicy, use that. It also calls for par cooking some potatoes and carrots. The original recipe says she did it in a Ziploc zip and steam bag. I'm just going to try to steam these in my microwave, and I think you just par cook them so that they're mostly cooked when they go in the soup. And to make it more better, she tosses the cooked potatoes and carrots with 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter. Then some of the seasonings. It's kind of an odd assortment. Things like A1 steak sauce, Worcestershire sauce, hot sauce, some Italian, a lot of salt and pepper, which I don't have out. And then, of course, since it's a vegetable beef soup, we use beef broth as the base, although a lot of the base will be the V8 and the tomato sauce. So I'm going to get busy chopping and steaming, and we'll get this going in my big soup pot on the stove.
I was a little hesitant to make this recipe because Tim is very serious about his vegetable beef soup. It's one of his favorite things from growing up. If you've watched here in the past in the winter, you've seen what he does. He eats a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with his beef soup, vegetable beef soup. Like I said, I did not have the zip top steamer bags from Ziploc, so I just put the vegetables in a microwave safe glass bowl, and I did vent a little bit with the plastic wrap. I added a little bit of water. I started the potatoes, and then about 2 or 3 minutes in, I added the carrots and let them finish steaming in the microwave.
These took about 5 minutes to steam in my microwave. I wanted them mostly fork tender. I drained off the water that I used to steam them with. Now we will toss them with the butter.
To my largest enameled cast iron soup pot. This one is 6 or 7 quarts, and you'll see here in a minute this recipe filled it up. It's a lot for 2. Unless you love vegetable beef soup, I would cut it in half. I did use 1 pound of organic beef and a half a pound of turkey, which made a lot for the 2 of us. And I deviate a little bit from the recipe, which I've left a link to. I went ahead and sauteed the meat and then my onions, and then I took out my little metal can and poured off the grease. I thought it had it in the camera shot, but I missed it again. Towards the end, I added some minced garlic once everything was about browned. I don't like to put my garlic in early because I think it will burn. Then you add 1 packet of Lipton dry onion soup mix. Then the canned, and I'm sure you could use frozen green beans, and then the potatoes and carrots that have steamed with the melted butter. For the seasonings, the original recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and I was really proud of myself. I actually got out a teaspoon and measured. The original recipe does call for frozen white shoe peg corn, which I didn't have. I had a can of white from Kroger, and you add the corn and then the tomato soup, the rotel, the V8 juice, the beef broth, and then I did measure out about a tablespoon of the Worcestershire and the A1 steak sauce. This is a big pot of soup, but lucky for us, it was delicious. I stirred it all up and then added the bay leaf, some hot sauce, and some crushed red pepper flakes. That was actually in the recipe. And I finally went off the reservation and I got out some frozen corn and added a little more because Tim does love corn. You cover and bring the soup to a boil, and then you reduce the heat. You can simmer it on the stovetop for an hour or up to all day in a crock pot. I used to always make cornbread from scratch in my cast iron skillet in the stove, but these days the little boxes of Jiffy seem to work better for the two of us. You just take the corn mix from the box, add an egg and some milk. I've also discovered since we got our air fryer that cooking these in my air fryer for 12 minutes is more efficient for the two of us. So I put some cornmeal muffins in the air fryer, fished out the bay leaf right before we were ready to eat.
Look what I made you. You excited?
I am. What do we call this?
Vegetable beef soup. It's supposed to be spicy, but
Is that real meat in there?
part of it is. You know me too well, don't you?
I do.
It's supposed to be spicy vegetable beef soup, but I didn't use spicy V8 and I didn't use spicy Rotel. And I cut back a little on the red pepper flakes and hot sauce, so it's
And you're a
probably
little bit sneaky.
just regular beef soup. But you can add all that stuff to yours. This is going to feed you for days. I am so excited.
Does all that, what did you put in that tofu?
No. I took my tongs halfway and turned them this time. Did a half rotation, so they're not quite as, don't burn your fingers, as schlong as they used to be. But we really like doing them in here. They're done in 12 minutes. My oven would have just preheated by then. Can you get it out?
I'm working on it.
And vegetable beef soup with cornbread is what's for dinner today. We just plop it on there.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun to try out a new recipe for you guys. This one from Family Savvy was good, but I would probably go back to just my regular way of making vegetable beef soup in the future. This made a lot, and it had a lot of extra ingredients, but it was delicious. For tonight's meal, I started some rinsed white rice in my little aroma rice cooker. I can cook white in here, but brown rice I have to still do in my Instant Pot because the brown rice setting has gone out on my rice cooker. I chopped up some broccoli, and if you're a longtime viewer of our channel, you probably know what's coming. I got out the last of a box of orange chicken and got it cooking in the air fryer. You can easily do it in the oven for tonight's meal.
I'm very sad that I'm now down to my last bag of this. I haven't been able to find it in our Sam's Club in 2 or 3 months. It's not on the app, it's not on the website. I hadn't found it in the store. I really wish they would bring it back. This had 8 microwavable steam bags of edamame. It was one of my favorite things to serve with Chinese food, but that was my last one. Boo-hoo. Add some crab rangoon the last 6 or 7 minutes to the chicken.
I got out my small nonstick wok, added some avocado oil or peanut oil, something that works well under high pressure. Then I added a little processed minced ginger and garlic and started sauteing the broccoli. Lately, when I've been doing vegetables, I've either made up my own stir-fry sauce or I've used a teriyaki or a soyaki, but this time I tried hoisin. I got the crab rangoon and the chicken pieces out of the air fryer and then tossed them with the sauce. This sauce is not spicy, but I have no problems with splitting it up and putting a lesser spicy sauce on half of it for me and a spicy sauce for Tim.
We're having a quick Chinese. Actually, Tim requested it this time. It wasn't even me. That's the last package of edamame I have from Sam's Club. I'll be sad they're gone. We've got the last of the Members Mark orange tempura chicken that we'll have over some rice with crab rangoon, some sauteed broccoli. I added a little...
Broccoli's my favorite.
Broccoli is Tim's favorite vegetable. And I added hoisin because that's like barbecue sauce, and you love barbecue sauce. I don't know if broccoli and hoisin go together. We'll give it a shot.
That sounds good.
And the last of the edamame. Little mini Chinese buffet. That's what's for dinner today.
The second new recipe we tried this week is something I've been wanting to try for a long time. It starts with a can of pizza dough or pizza crust. You stretch it out into a rectangle and then start layering on some Italian meats. I had purchased this pack of delicatessen meat trios of 2 kinds of salami and pepperoni from our Sam's Club. I laid those out in no specific order. This was mostly an idea or a guideline. I didn't really have a recipe I was following. I laid out the meats and then put some sliced mozzarella on it. I added some diced ham, and then, because I decided more is always better, I put some more meats on it. Tim likes things with a little flavor, so I added some crushed red chili flakes, some Italian seasoning, and then in addition to the slices of mozzarella, I also put some shredded mozzarella on it. I roll it up from the short end to make like a stromboli or a roll. You want to tuck the sides in on each side so the stuff doesn't come out, and pinch the seam on the bottom. To brush on the top, I melted some butter and flavored it with some garlic powder and some Italian seasoning. I brushed the top liberally, flipped it over, tried to pinch that seam together so nothing would ooze out as it cooked, and brushed it again on the bottom. I thought briefly about cutting some slits in the top and decided against it. I made sure that seam was covered and then got it over onto my pizza stone that I'd put a piece of parchment on. You could use a cookie sheet, I'm sure. I baked it at 400 degrees for about 15 to 17 minutes.
See how it looks. We're about 17 minutes in at 400. Do you want it a little browner, or you don't want to wait any longer?
I don't know. What is that?
It's a stromboli.
I thought that was like a big snail.
No, it's not a snail.
Slug.
You're goofy. It does look like a big snail now that you say that. Now I don't think it's a snail.
It goes out here. That's perfect.
We put it back for 3 more minutes.
All right.
And now it's toasty.
I like it that way.
Yeah, I think that's a little overdone for me. You're gonna burn your hand. It needs to sit a little bit. Should have put more filling. Oh, I don't want a piece that big. Okay, I'll eat a piece that big. That'd be great.
Maybe this one's mine.
Huh? You're fine.
I cut you a small one.
I made a quick stromboli using some salami and pepperoni and cheeses and ham. Made us a quick salad with the same ingredients, some of the cut up meats and cheeses, some carrots, olives, and red onion with oil and vinegar or Italian dressing. That's a quick 15-20 minute Italian stromboli. That's what's for dinner today.
This was so easy and so quick, and it was really delicious. We both loved it, both gave it 2 big thumbs up. I've got a little meat left. I'm planning to get another container of pizza dough, so you will be seeing this one again soon. I highly recommend it. We've got some cool days still down south, but we're having more and more that are warming up. It's starting to feel like spring. So today I decided to make a pasta salad. I boiled some water and then cooked 1 cup of ditalini pasta, which I drained and cooled a little bit. Then I started adding what I had and what sounded good. I like to add a little pickle juice in most of my pasta salads. I started off with about 2 heaping tablespoons of mayonnaise because I like it creamy, and then I just chopped up and used what I had on hand. Some red onions, some carrots, some jarred marinated mushrooms, some pickles, and black olives. I seasoned it with black pepper, some pink Himalayan sea salt, and one of my favorite seasonings, which is this Morton's Nature Seasoning. I got that mixed up. Then I decided I wanted to add a little cheddar, so I chunked up some sharp cheddar from a block that I had. And I say this in almost every video, just taste it and adjust it to your taste with the seasonings. And in case you missed it, we just shared the latest video in our What Can I Make With series, all about using imitation crab meat. As I said in that video, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but we love imitation crab around here, so I wanted to make a quick crab salad. I took 1 package of Lewis Kemp Crab Delights and finely diced it. I also diced some red onion. I thought I didn't have any green onion. You'll see here in a minute. I did go and get some off my back patio. I added some lemon juice, some Old Bay seasoning to taste, and then I added some white pepper and ground in some Himalayan pink sea salt. This is all to taste. I added about 3 heaping tablespoons of mayonnaise. Add more if you like it creamier. And then I remembered that I did have some green onions growing in a pot out on my back patio, so I chopped up a couple of green stems. I thought it needed a little bit of color and added that as well. I decided to take a little bit of melted butter and brush it on some hamburger buns and toast up really quick in the skillet because my husband is not a fan of things like this, but he's much more likely to eat it as a big sandwich. Myself, the rest of the crab salad I just ate for my lunches, just with some crackers and fruit, and it was delicious to me. He does a lot better when it's a sandwich with chips or fries.
It appears to be salad day, which translates in our house as that's more Stacy's kind of food than Tim's kind of food. Hopefully he will like this. On a toasty bun, we'll have a crab salad sandwich, some pasta salad on the side. If I had fruit or green salad, I would. That's my grandmother's Pyrex.
I was looking for that steak that you hid under there.
Oh, there's no steak hiding up under there, silly boy. It is crab and pasta salad for dinner today.
Yeehaw.
So by the time the weekend rolls around, I'm not really into cooking all that much. I paused this here to show you that we finished up the Duke's mayonnaise. It was good, but we'll just go back to our Blue Plate. This was a request from Tim. It's a sandwich. I put some mayonnaise, some spicy brown mustard, some ham, some turkey, 2 pieces of sliced cheese together. I mixed a beaten egg that we're going to dunk the sandwich in. I got my skillet going, melted some butter. Quickly dunk. You don't want to soak it. It's not like a French toast. You want one quick dunk for about a second and then brown it off like a grilled cheese. I was a little worried about flipping this puppy. If you remember, I had a little bit of a quesadilla fiasco here a couple weeks ago. I was so excited when it flipped and it was nice and brown on both sides. Got it out and I decided to cut it in half. These are traditionally served dusted in powdered sugar. Tim was a little dubious about that. And they're also traditionally served with raspberry jam or jelly, which we didn't have. We just used what we had. But these were some easy, quick, homemade Monte Cristos. They weren't deep fried in oil like they are traditionally in restaurants, but they worked for us.
Tim was reading a book the other day where the character ate a Monte Cristo and he asked me what it was. And I told him these are not traditional because we didn't dunk them in a thick batter and deep fry them. I've had Monte Cristos at restaurants, never actually made one. I don't know if Tim's actually ever tasted one. He was a little dubious about the whole powdered sugar, raspberry, we have strawberry to dunk it in, but Monte Cristos are what is for dinner today.
Let's try it.
You ready to try it? My taste tester. We'll leave a comment if he liked it or not.
Wow. Woo! Smoky.